So I'm really, really grateful to these beautiful ladies who have agreed to take their precious time to come and talk to us about what they do for women. It's amazing. I had the great pleasure of speaking to them recently, and we've only got sort of 45 minutes together this evening, and I honestly can say to you, I could spend over an hour with each of these ladies and expelling their stories. So I have got a role model, many in my life, and I imagine you've got role models too. And one of my key role models in my life is Oprah Winfrey. I always have to do a bit of a bow to Oprah. And she says, only spend time with people who lift you higher. Mm. And I use that as one of my guiding principles for life. And I can guarantee by the end of this 45 minutes and the rest of the evening, you'll go away feeling uplifted by being in the company of these fabulous women. So I'm Mary Barrett. For those of you who don't know me, I've been involved, I was a second speaker a year ago, and I've been involved with Sherry and the community for that time. I'm a mind coach. I'm not a life coach. I'm not a business coach. I coach your mind. So you can do what you like with your life, but I can coach your mind. And I work with high achievers globally around the world, really releasing people from the prisons of their mind. So I've got a toolkit of over 30 years, started when I was 4, that I've been working on to help people. So that's me. I've also got a podcast, and many members have been on my podcast. I'm actually having a conversation with Raquel from Lighthouse Consulting tomorrow. And if you want to find me on Apple or Spotify or any mainstream, it's A Cup of Tea with Mary B. So let me say, this is Janet, this is Katerina, and this is Joanna, and I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves because no one can sell yourself better than yourself. So there's no point in me saying it, they're going to say that. So I will go straight to Janet, if you don't mind. And would you...
I knew it was a mistake. Hi, ladies. I am Janet, and I am the founder and CEO of the Coquette Group. And the Coquette Group is very much aligned with my personal mission as a woman. And it's always been to empower women through design, content, and experiences. And when we say design, there's nothing like walking into a room that makes you feel complete, that makes you feel good. So I have a business that is Coquette, and Coquette is an interior design and luxury home furnishing business. And then I empower through content, which is through this magazine. I am the publisher of Love Happens magazine. It is a female empowerment magazine where we talk about stories of success. We talk about design. We talk about problems women are facing today. So it's highly focused on empowering women. And then experiences. And it's experiences and collaborations such as this. And this is how I spend my day, just devoting myself to design and women.
Beautiful. Thank you. Welcome, Janet. I know. Katerina.
I don't know if I can be so succinct as Janet, but I'll do my best. So I'm Katerina. I will talk about a little bit of purple, my brand, but this purple mixed with my own story, of course, because you will understand. So I'm Katerina, like I told you, and since I was a little girl, my dream was to become a fashion designer. I'm living in a small town, and I said I go to Porto to be a fashion designer. But life had other plans for me, and I became a lawyer. So in the gray world. So I'm a partner of a law firm in Lisbon, and I'm very happy doing that. And life goes on, and I get married, and I have a beautiful son, and I have a beautiful daughter, also named Katerina. And that's when my life turns. Because when Katerina, my daughter, was 2 months old, I discovered that she had a disease problem, and I took 6 years to fix it. So it was a very hard time for me, those 6 years, but those 6 years really transformed me. It was looking back, I can say that were the best years of my life because of the transformation that I got after that. So when finally Katerina is okay, she's a great, happy girl. She's doing very well. I'm sorry. and then when I have time to myself after those 2 years when she's finally stabilized, I ask myself, now that you have more free time, what you want to do? And I said to myself, because I speak a lot alone, and I said to myself, let's pick up the old dream that I had when I was very young, and I did it. And then I create purple, and that is not a random choice, purple, because purple, and I will tell you after, but purple, I don't know if you know, but purple is the color of creativity, but especially the color of self-growing, acceptance, and transformation, because I really transform myself. I grow up a lot. My daughter, very young, was the best teacher I could have because she teach me the best lessons of my life, very young, and I'm very grateful for that. And that's our purple borns. After my own transformation as a mother, as a person, as a woman, after a very long period of pain, frustration, but in the end, success. And that's how it burns. So I will tell you a little bit more about purple, but this is how it starts.
So that was your inspiration. What a wonderful story, huh? I mean, wonderful, and it's so inspirational. So, so it was really your transformation that sparked purple. So we'll come back to what purple actually is then. So what is purple?
Purple, for me, being purple is being a woman that chases her dreams and face the challenge, because you all have challenge. You all have challenge. Different ones, but you all have it. And what I learned with Katarina, my daughter, is you only have two choices, two options when you have a problem. One, face it, and two, face it. And I discovered the third one is when you have a problem, you must smile to the problem, because the problem will go lower and lower and lower. Because when you smile, you gain strength and you face everything. You can do everything. In purple, my brand is I don't pretend to make 20 dresses in the same row. No, I want to do a dress for Janet, for you, because what I do, you can see in the stereo, is proposals of models. But you don't like purple. I like this dress, but you don't like in purple. I rather in black or green or whatever. And what I do is celebrate authenticity and uniqueness of each woman. We are all different bodies, different tastes, different histories, different moods. So what I do is not to have a scale design equal for everybody, but the opposite. Is do one model for each single lady, because we all unique. That is the spirit of purple.
Yes. Fantastic. Wonderful. And Joanna?
So I'm Joanna, and thank you for the invitation. I'm the owner of Marai. I didn't create Marai from scratch. I bought Marai, the brand was 1 year and a half. And maybe I came back to my roots. So we'll try to make this long story short. I was born in a shoe shop, a family shoe shop in Torres Vedras, in the west part of Portugal. And before I was reading and making calculations, I was already selling shoes. So life goes on, and I took my degree in economics. I spent 20 years on multinationals. And at one point of my life, I bought shoes from this brand, which is Marai. And I was a lover from this brand. Why? Because they only sold flat shoes that were ideal for my life. Because I had kids, I was always running to some place to the other. And I was a simple person. So I didn't want to think too much about the shoes, but I wanted to feel elegant and comfortable. And then when I saw the brand, and the brand was for a reason was sleeping, is going to fall asleep, I wrote a message on Instagram asking, do you want to sell it? And 1 month afterwards, the brand was mine, and that's part of my story until from the last 7 years now. So it's quite a bit.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. So, Janet, what sparked your interest in interior design? We've heard about these ladies that she was born in a shoe shop. Synchrodestiny, it was meant to be. Katarina's daughter inspired their transformation. But what for you? What inspired you to do the work that you do for women?
I've always loved all things beautiful, textiles, textiles, home furnishings, drapery, trims, tassels. And as a child, it would bother me to go into people's homes and see that they weren't well designed.
I'm not inviting her to my house.
At a very young age, I would sit in people's living rooms and say, if only we were to knock that wall down, we could do an island, some bar stools, we'd really open up the space. And it started at a very, very young age. And I wanted to go into fashion. And then I wanted to go into design. Many years ago, my father said to me, there's no money in fashion, there's no money in design. You need to get a degree with something that is useful. And so you won't be living off your family for the rest of your life. And so I went into foreign languages and literature. And it was about the most boring thing I could have done. But it was my ticket to Paris. I said, in order to do this, I must study in Paris. And while I was in Paris, that's when I came back and said, no, I will finish my degree in language arts. But then I went back to school and got my degree in interior design. And from there, I started, my very first job in interior design was working for a firm that did nothing but royal palaces in Saudi Arabia. And it was the ultimate learning experience because we were exposed to materials that no one else could afford, and there was no budget. And the princess would often fly us, the team, to Milan to just select textiles. So I was exposed to that at a very, very young age. And from there, I started my own company. And because I knew where all the fine materials were, because I had been exposed to it. I had the most demanding of all clients working for the royal family. And from there, I saw that there were many products that were not available. I'm from the US, that were not available in the United States. And it was the craftsmanship from Portugal, from Spain, from Italy, from France. And so what I did was I started a design consulting and PR firm in the US, where I would find small brands in Europe and take them to the US market and launch them. I would look at their product line, I would look at their price lists, I would coordinate everything and prepare them for entry into the US market and then distribute them. Once I knew where everything was made in Europe, I knew where the finest of the finest were, the textiles, who made the best upholstery, who had the best hand carving. I knew what women wanted and what lacked in the market. And I set out to design a collection for women. And I named it Coquette. And I named it Coquette because it was my nickname as a child. They used to call me Jeannette la Coquette. because I was just always bouncing around and very happy and very frilly. But the intention was to have women at its core. And every product that we would design would start with a woman. I have pieces that are inspired by the female body. I have a cabinet that is actually, the base is a woman's hip bone. And I remember going into production and having them carve it over and over and over and me saying to them, it doesn't look like a hip bone. And imagine this up north, Portugal. Like, it must look like a hip bone. And the idea behind that cabinet is it's part of a collection called Her Temptation. And I will collaborate with artists around the world and I will say, we are all women. We all have the same base, right? We all have the same skeleton. But what really defines us is what's in our mind. Mm-hmm. And so the top of that cabinet, each designer, each artist can interpretate any which way they want. And we will launch it into the collection. So it's called Her Temptation. I have another piece. I just have to tell the story of how we start. We start with a name. First, I start with the name, and then I design the piece after that. So I brought this postcard, and I don't know if you can see it, but the base of the table is a swirl. And the swirl on this table is called intuition. Mm-hmm. And it is the female intuition. And it celebrates our mind and how we can go into so many directions. And, you have that gut feeling about something and you're not quite so sure whether or not you're confident enough or you can do something, and your mind will do this, but then it just ends up right back where it started, and you do it, and you do it. So all of the pieces celebrate our feelings, our emotions, struggles that we've had. There's a story behind every single piece.
Beautiful.
And by knowing who could make the best, and by understanding not just the female mind, the female body, there's nothing. I'm so happy to see that your chairs are elegant. They may not be the most beautiful chairs here, but they are very short in depth, right? Which means your feet don't swing. I'm looking at everyone and everyone looks so pretty. This means so much to me, because you know those modern sofas that are so low to the ground and your feet swing, and when you get up you're a hot mess, like you're all over the place and you're doing this and you've just lost your elegance. So when you get
basic instinct moments.
yes, a little basic instinct. And so when we design upholstery, the arm height is always to perfection. So you're never doing this or this or this. And I will have our girls in the office. One of them is here. I don't know where she is, but oh, she's over there. But the idea is I will have them all sit. And I do much of my design from a distance, and I'll say it's too deep. And I say it's too deep, it's too low, it's too this. I cater to women first. So the chairs, you must always look beautiful and graceful in all of our chairs. So it's the female mind, the female body. And so it was always, why do women have to look that way in a chair? Why? And it's like everyone looks so lovely right now. I said, whoever designed these simple chairs knew what they were doing. And it was just the passion for design and always making women look their best. Today, I still love fashion. Fashion is, will always be my first choice, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to make money in fashion, so I could do it designing and then buy her fashion.
and her shoes, correct.
Shoes.
Wonderful.
Nice to you.
Yes.
Now you understand why I say it could go on for a long time, because there's so much here, so much richness and so much abundance in what these ladies have to share. And I think it's really interesting what's come across as well is when we think of the education system today, that we're still saying to children, go get a proper degree. These are three ladies, and I know Katerina still...
You've got the proper degree.
She's still a lawyer. We've got an economist. You still practice law.
Yes, full time.
And so actually you can have more than one career. And this is I think you need to go into years 10, 11 and 12 in the schools now and universities and saying you don't have to pick one. And these three ladies are, and there's many more in the room, I'm sure, are a perfect example. You keep in contact on the shop floor with your customers. So you're always aware of what their needs are. So could you explain a bit more about that? How we really find out what they need? Yeah.
When you create for them, not only for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, I know I'm clumsy walking, and some people will be clumsy walking as well, so I don't wear high heels. But especially people nowadays have lives that they share with me, and they say, look, what if you could do a bit higher? And then we put a hidden heel inside the shoe. So that's it. And it serves a purpose, because they feel more comfortable, they feel more elegant with this shoe. So without this contact with the customer, we cannot make better things. So every time they share what they feel about my shoe, it's an opportunity to improve and do something that really suits their needs and make them feel even better. And also because I'm very happy to share that one of the pillars is the service. And of course, I cannot speak with all the customers we have, but it's really important for me to get to know the people that want to be more interested on the brand, on the shoe, and even on my life. And I take the opportunity to share one customer that came to me two weeks ago saying, we had a very nice conversation 1 year ago, and I changed all my life because of you. And I was like, but it's really important when you deliver much more than a pair of shoes. When you deliver a story that empowers people to make some directions that make them feel happier and more empowered and more fulfilled with their lives. And that's the reason why I really want to spend time at the store every time I have the chance.
Excellent, fantastic. And I'm just curious, because you mentioned before when we spoke, and I think it's a great story, that when you're in the office ordering all the shoes for your friends.
Yeah. So when I bought the brand, before I bought the brand, I didn't even know that the brand was on sale. And a colleague of mine, I worked for Danone for almost 20 years, and a colleague of mine said, "Look, Joanna, that brand that I spoke about it 1 week or 2 weeks ago is on stock off." Really? So I start looking at, and I was like, I want this one and I want this one. And someone at my side was saying, "Oh, I like those too, so let's buy it." So on that day, I bought 12 pairs of shoes for everyone at the office. So it was really like crazy.
And then just send an Instagram message, and then 1 month later owning the company. I mean,
I was on the traffic jam on the A5 and the freeway, and I was like, you know, I'm very empathetic with your story. I love your brand. It would be a pity that the brand finishes. What do you think about selling the brand? Are you interested? And it was like that. And then I spoke with Sarah that helped me in the process, and that's it.
Amazing.
I call those things synchrodestiny moments. It's serendipity or matching up, when all the dots align at the right time.
When you dare to say and to risk to hear a no,
Great point.
a yes can
Yes.
come over.
Yeah.
And
Don't
can
be
change your
Usually
life.
comes.
Yeah, fantastic. But it's having the courage to do that.
Yeah.
Having the courage that they may say no, but that's the courage. So bold and brave for sure. So Katerina, you've also got a friend and very special friend here tonight as well that I'd like you to maybe talk about too.
Thank you.
If that's
Thank you for letting me sharing. So Purple, born like I told you 1 year ago, and in the beginning of this year, I have a challenge of my beautiful friend Sonia. Please, Sonia.
Stands up,
They
Sonia,
must know you.
Yeah. This is Sonia.
Sonia, a woman that you can see, and you are. And Sonia have a problem. I can say it, breast cancer. And she's very young, but she had several surgeries already. But never despite that, Sonia loves beach, loves pool, loves being a woman, a young woman. But due to breast cancer, she have scars, she have some points that hurts, and she never found in the regular market swimming suits that could be beautiful and comfortable, so mainly comfortable, especially. And then she challenged me to create a line of swimming suits that were specially made for ladies that had breast cancer or other body condition, because ladies that have breast cancer or other surgeries want to hide the scars, feel pain in some points of the body, and we want to create a line that embrace the courage in the story of each lady, because the ladies that have through that problem or others already suffer a lot. And we want that they feel pretty again. They look in the mirror, go to the beach and look in the window and say, I'm beautiful again. Because for me, that is the most inspiring story, is Sonia's stories, to never forget our femininity and our essence to be a woman and to be a beautiful woman. That's how we create you have some there that you can see, because respect the body of the ladies that have some problems. Of course, we have many clients that buy the swimming suits because they are gorgeous for me, and they can buy it, they are very comfortable and people like it. But the proposal was to help ladies that have some condition, some problem, some surgery before, and do that, and because we want to help other ladies, part of the value of the swimming suits go to the research of cancer.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sonia. And so I think we can hear very clearly how these ladies really put their women at the heart of their business. So I'm curious, what do you do to take care of yourselves while running business, having family? So yeah, maybe Janet, how do you fill your cup? What do you do to keep yourself?
My dear friend here, Caroline, is laughing. It's this. It's work.
Yes.
I am unable to vacation. I am unable to sit on the sand or go to the pool. I live across the street from the beach, and I think I didn't go the whole month of July and August because I am so immersed in what I do. I am so passionate in what I do. And if it's not a business I own, it's a business I want to create or help someone elevate their businesses. But it is women. And one of the things that the magazine talks about, and now I'm very curious, we will feature both your lives and this story. We talk a lot about self-love. And, love happens when you love yourself. And one of the features that we did was exactly this. When a woman is less than perfect, this magazine will be on the table. When a woman is less than perfect, we often feel that we're not deserving of love, or we're not going to be loved as much as the perfect woman that we now see on the filtered women, right? The filtered women. And so we talk a lot about that you don't have to be perfect to be loved. You don't have to be in perfect health. You just have to embrace every single day, every single challenge with an open heart, an open mind, and just support one another. And this is how I take time off. It's it's listening to stories. It's, sometimes I go to bed at night and it's like, oh, that story, oh, that story, oh, that story. And then I pass it directly to my editors. I'm like this, and people will say, "You're the best friend ever because you forget everything." And I say, and the reason, you don't tell anyone anything. I go, because there's just so much. There's just so many stories. We actually have a team in our office of young girls that just receive submittal of stories. I have this to say. I have that to say.
Beautiful.
And so a little bit of that Oprah. When you want to, transition into the Oprah, I can give you a whole list of stories to go.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
This is beautiful. Your collection is just so beautiful, and the potential out there.
Thank you.
One of the possible questions was.
Yeah. Was a gap in the market. Yeah.
A gap in the market.
Yeah.
One of the possible questions for tonight was the gap in the market. And in my preparation, I was thinking, it's not furniture, it's not design. No one needs luxury. No one needs luxury. Luxury just fulfills our emotions. It's an emotional satisfaction that you're getting out of what I do. But the gap in the market are niche markets. It's going to be wellness. It's going to be products such as yours, comfort, and I think she nailed it. Both of you nailed it with, the gap in the market. There is nothing like this out there, and I see product all day long. And what you two have done is brilliant.
Thank you.
That's really.
Thank you, Janet.
And I want to ask you, but I think what we can tell here is for you, Janet, you're filling your cup is filling other people's cup. Yes. Yeah. Katerina, how do you look after yourself?
Below, I could sign the
Ditto.
Because I work a lot as a lawyer, lots of hours a day, and I work with banks, so it's completely different world from this. But what I want to do, and helps me to be a better person, I work with banks in the area of NPL, is default credit, people that are in the worst phase of their lives, but I'm the bank lawyer, so I must protect banks, of course. However, every day I'm confronted with people that are suffering a lot, that have problems, disease, divorce, whatever, and I cannot be a better person if I don't look to those persons, to those people. I don't help without prejudice, of course, my bank, my client, but I feel. In the end of the day, I feel much better person when I do my job without destroying other people's life. And that is another way of taking care. Not directly, but very indirectly. And I feel better when I go home and pick my kids, hug my kids, they kiss me, and I feel proud of my day. Because I think you understand me. Of course, sometimes I get very upset, very tired. And when I look to my kids and they smile to me, everything is vanished. And I do what you said in the beginning of our conversation, is surround yourself with elevated people. That's what I start to do it. Because in one point, when I will be almost 50 years, so at one point you consider and you make evaluation of your life, and I did it, and I realized that you don't need much to be happy. You don't need luxury. You don't need it. My luxury in my best times is when I'm alone with my kids and my friends, that my really friends, my family, they're close family. It's not the jewelry. No. I learned that with time. Maybe with Katarina too. Honestly, with my daughter, and also with Sonia. Example. So, answer you. How can I restore my energy? Is doing some good around me.
Yeah.
Because when you do good, you receive good. It's the universe talking to you. So
for sure. And you know, there's a science that backs that up. You know, when you pay it forward, you give. The more you give, the more you get. Not necessarily from the person you've given it to, but you'll get it back tenfold. And the science says you get more by giving than actually receiving.
Yeah, completely.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. Joanna,
No, I'm in a difficult position.
what exactly did you fill your cup?
No, but honestly, a great day for me is when I really think that I helped someone. When I tell it's not about a pair of shoes, sometimes I feel that I'm in the store and I had at least 3 great conversations with people. And even my kid sometimes calls me once and twice, and I said, look, I will call you afterwards, I'm with a customer. And after 2 hours, I call him and he says, it's not possible that you are still with the customer, right? It's like, yes, it is, you know. Last Saturday I was having dinner with the customer because she was there, she had serious issues, and we start to get a small friendship, and that's where everything starts, you know.
For sure.
And at some point I was really feeling very happy, not because I sold a pair of shoes to this person, but because I was helping her and she was helping me in other things as well. And at the end, it's about giving and receiving. Every time you have a day that you receive, you deliver energy, but you feel that you also receive a lot and you generate a lot of energy, is a great day for me. So I was tired of having that multinational life, that I didn't have time to my kids or to myself, and I was feeling sick all the time. And the best thing I could do was to slow down. You know, sometimes I feel that I just have this brand, and in a life ago, almost a life ago, I was working 10 hours a day, and I still have the brand to take care of. You know, so it was possible. So now it will be possible, and to deliver something to my kids. Because at the end, you know, I'm very proud to say that in 10 years, my kids will remember the starting point of Marai, which was on my living room, you know, and they were telling me, you know, your employees, and I was like, my employees? Which employees? It's like, you are my employees, you are putting the stickers on the boxes, you know, but you don't have employees like at Danone. No, at Danone I have a team, but here you are my team. I'm very proud. Someday they want to carry on the business. I'm very proud that they really saw the efforts it took to come there. You know? And if I can deliver one lesson to them about business or future, is fight about your dream. You know, I didn't create the brand. It's true, but I love the brand as if
you had born it. Yeah,
it is, you know?
Wonderful.
So
yeah, fantastic. So, just looking at time here, as I said, we could go on. I've got one final question for each of you. It wasn't a pre-proposed question, but as a mind coach, you know, our mind, how we think drives how we feel drives how we behave is the results we'll get. So I'm really curious, when things are tough, and you've shown examples of things are tough, because you've got plenty of courage, plenty of bravery, plenty of resilience, what's the thing that you say to yourself? What's those words you say to yourself that when the times are really challenging, that dust myself off and get myself up again?
Well, that's every day.
Yeah, for sure.
It's every day, whether it's a delay in a product, whether it's a customer return, a customer complaint, or anything, I tend to go into silence, and I never show. And one of my dear friend Carolina, who sees me on a weekly basis, and one of my marketing girl, I don't think any of them ever feel that. And I try to internalize it and just go into seclusion and deal with it on my own, which as many of us do when we have a problem, because if I show insecurity, if I show fear, if I, just like with our children, then they, how would my marketing team or my team feel if I was showing that insecurity? So I must always put on a positive face, like, yes, we can, we will get through this.
There we are. Yes, we can, we will get through this.
Yes, we can, yes, we can. And never pass what's truly happening in the books or truly happening in the market onto my team. Because if they sense that you don't believe, that gives them an excuse not to believe. And the same thing with our children. You know how when you say something, they'll say, but you said. So always a positive outlook. It doesn't, even when COVID hit, people thought, how am I going to let go? How do I let go of all these people? And I had to do it. And I had to do it for the company. And I let go of a lot of people. But then it turned out that, while they slept and rested, we grinded. And it was our most successful year because everyone sheltered. Everyone sheltered and everyone wanted a new home, a new sofa, a new something, because they were living in their homes and they needed to feel good about a space that they were going to spend a lot of time in. But it's moments like that where you have to make tough decisions and just not let your heart get involved. And so I tend to step back and think about it, but never show. Never. I can never show, because then I'm supposed to be their mentor, if she doesn't know, then who does?
Well, I think you've related a lot of what you do within the business as a role model, as a parent as a role model, and I think we're the thermostat, aren't we, of the family? Yes. If we crumble, it all crumbles. So exactly
and
that.
in a business, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Katerina, what's the thing that you say to yourself when you're?
I speak a lot to myself, like I told you before.
We all do. Some of us, everyone speaks themselves. Most people internalize it, but so it's good. It's all good.
No, but I have a thing of me, because I rescue a lot on my smile. I'm always smiling. No one can realize how I am. I can be completely destroyed, but no one knows. No one knows except me. But when sometimes I get a very difficult time, but now what I do, I ask myself, what would I do if I did not afraid of? And I make the decision, and the way of my path will be the one of my alter ego, let's say, that if he don't have any scare, any afraid, all the courage, what we'll get, what the way she will get, that way. Okay, I go that way. I challenge myself.
Nice.
I do it all my life. I wrote a little something like this when I was very young, Spencer Johnson book, What You Do If You're Not Afraid, and follows me since then. And when the times are very, very, very difficult, and you see you are in the end of the line, I think to myself, the difficult is done. The impossible only take a little while.
Nice.
You can do it. There is no impossible, and let's do it.
Beautiful. I love that. And Joanna?
I try to breathe in, breathe out, take a coffee. Like this, because if I start stressing, I will block and nothing will happen, and it will be a disaster. So most of the time I think no one dies. Yeah, we will solve it.
Nice.
It's like this, and okay, so I need a moment. I take my moment, and afterwards I always come with some ideas, and I will build with the ideas. I discuss it with someone, another one. It's because I produce a lot of ideas when I'm speaking with people. I feel that I'm much more productive, and sometimes I even call a friend that doesn't know anything about it and doesn't have anything to do with it. And it's like, what do you think about this and this and this? And sometimes people on the other side doesn't even have to answer, because while I'm speaking, I'm already finding the way.
Sure.
So I try to stay calm,
Hmm.
breathe in, breathe out, and let's see.
Wonderful, wonderful advice. Fantastic. I mean, amazing. We all agree, and three amazing ladies. Thank you so much, really.